So welcome guys in this session. Today we are going to discuss about the massive MIMO multi-antenna techniques. So we will discuss one by one. First one is the beamforming. So beamforming has also two types. First one is the high beamforming and second one is the low beamforming. So and the second one is the spatial multiplexing. Third one is the null beamforming. So in the next slide, one by one we will discuss. So first one is the beamforming. So basically, what is a beamforming? So beamforming is a technique where we focus our power signal in a particular direction, or we are focusing over base station signal to the particular user in particular direction with amplification of that particular signal in the region of that particular base station. That is called beamforming, or simply we can say it beamforming is the amplification of the signal and focusing in a particular direction to serve that user. That is called beamforming. So as shown in figure, this one is a figure 1 and this one is a figure 2. So first one we will discuss the figure 1. Figure A, that is a high beamforming. So what is high beamforming? Basically this base station, this is BS base station, and this is the user UE, and in the middle this is a bidirectional beam. So this base station serve this user with the help of this beam. This base station focus their high power beam to this user, and this is the bidirectional beam working with both in uplink as well as downlink. So by focusing of the high power beam to this user, that is called the high beamforming. And in the figure B, that is low beamforming. And this is the base station, this is the omnidirectional antennas on this base station, and this one is the user, and this base station focus their beam is in the all directions, on same beam focusing on the all direction. So less power is focusing to this user. So we can easily told that this is a low beam forming. So less power is focusing to this user, so this is a low beam forming. So this is the difference between the high beam forming and low beam forming. So due to the beam forming, increasing the signal strength by focusing the power, and focused power is in the particular direction, and due to that the increase the data rates in the system. So that is called the beam forming. So let's go to the next one, that is the spatial multiplexing. So what is spatial multiplexing? Spatial multiplexing is nothing but this is the multiple data streams can be transmitted over parallelly to the users in both in uplink as well as downlink. So these are the parallel beams, and these are parallelly transmitted to the users. So these are the multiple data streams are parallelly transmitted and received from the in the uplink as well as downlink. That is called the spatial multiplexing. So due to that the increase the data rates, and there is the multiple data streams can be transmitted and recovered parallelly and independently, and due to that the increase in the data rates. That is called the spatial multiplexing. So next one is null beamforming. So what is null beamforming? Basically null beamforming is a technique to reduce the interference. So first one we will discuss from this figure. In this figure, this is the base station, and these are the two users U1 and UE2. So when this base station serve these two users, so due to the user 2, if they are using the same beam, same channel, and this user creating the interference between the U1 and base station, or U1 and U2. So with the help of null forming, these base stations reduce the beam or remove the beam for user 2 and only serve this user 1. So here the focus the powers only focus only power to the user 1, and here in this point there is no beam. So here this beam is reduced by the null forming to reduce the interference. So in the beam forming, reduce the interference by avoiding the directions. Basically this null forming is working or behaving like a filter, so it filtering the signal, and it strive lower the beam in the some directions where the interference or interferal transceivers are. So the main work of the null forming is to reduce the interference, that is called null forming. So that's all for today lecture. Thank you guys. If you